This is for Eva.
For Eva, this is the Forest Folk deck. Forest Folklore deck. Different kind of choice. Let's see what's going on. Okay. We're starting here with the Four of Wands, and this is like a tra-la-la in the forest moment. This is a happy, this almost feels like the Six of Cups. This is childhood innocence, naivete, playing, that kind of spirit. Lots of time outside. You loved being outside. There's somebody that's blindsided here, somebody that's almost unseen. I'm not sure who he is yet. Now, when I do past lives, I don't read off of them straight like you would say, this is the card, this is the meaning. It's the flavor. This is youth, this is teen. Energy around you. Youth, teen, this seems like a little sister. And the Hermit. Really? Okay. Flip these over. All right. You know the scene in Snow White when she's outside the cabin and she's singing and talking to all the birds and they come along? This is where you went to be. You loved being outside as a kid. You went like crazy, like a little wild child, come back with, you know, arms scraped up and smelling like dirt, all that stuff. Very, very fun to play outside for you as a kid. You do this more and more, but you're also dressing what's traditionally the boy clothes at that time. You were tomboy, is what they called it when I was a kid. You would like to go play. You wanted to prove that you could do whatever anybody else could do. Later on in life, when you're a little bit further on, this is little sister, but this is the Hermit and the Lady of Swords coming together. This is wisdom, and it's coming through like a medicine woman energy. Like you would know what to put together. You would know the herbs. You would know the plants. You would know the forest medicine. Little sister knew these things too. Little sister was always around, but she was a chatty.
But yeah, born between two boys.
Yeah. This one, the little sister, is a chatty little magpie, chat. She hears things. She likes the woods too, but she's more like she's more of an extrovert than an introvert. You're more of the introvert in this one. So whether the birds come and tell you something or whether pretty soon little sister follows in after them, it's no surprise. Little sister always follows in, almost always. Like you see a bird on the wire, and then, I guess there wouldn't be wires back then. You see a bird out the window, whatever it's on, the tree branch, whatever, then pretty soon your little sister shows up. Here, when you're doing your tomboy stuff, you're learning things, you're proving things, you're figuring out. You did the daily work. You had different things that you would study and scope out, things that you would learn that were valuable, collections of something.
Yes, love plants.
You're kind of Hector the Collector. There's collections of something going on here. Now this one I don't know yet. Give me just a minute. We have the Six of Cups in a very Five of Cups manner. This is interesting. I've never seen this in this way, but this is the Six of Cups. Look at that. He's got the mourning cloak of the guy with the Five of Cups. He usually has the 3 spilt and the 2 behind it. This is the Six of Cups. There's still stuck in the past nostalgia going on. What is this about? We got the Nine of Rings and the Emperor sitting here. This is collection expanding, you expanding. Okay, so the collection of what you've got, the collection of knowledge and skills, as this expands, it becomes stronger and stronger. People are turning to you more and more. You're leading more and more, even though it's not a matriarchal culture you're in. You're still leading more and more. The Six of Cups and the woman over here, I'm not sure if we're going to have to leave that to fill in the gap in just a bit. King of Wands is just showing you very proactively leading. It's like if you had in this culture a leader that was older and kind of waning or fading, and then you would expect somebody to step up and take his rightful place didn't happen. You stepped in, you knew the medicine, you knew the plant medicine, you knew all the people. You stepped in as the leader, not officially, but this is what was going on. There's some sort of celebration, initiation, some way you're taking this really serious here going on. People are happy and celebrate with you. This is towards the end of your life. This is towards 30. Why am I getting 30? I don't know. This is towards age 30. What's going on here? I don't know. Okay, we're going to keep looking. We'll see what's going on a little bit further.
Should be interesting.
Yeah. What happened there? I want to go to this Eight of Swords before I go here. This guy feels like a transplant. That's weird. King of Pentacles, loving, huge energy. This is very father energy. This is more towards here. This is about your childhood again, referencing the masculine, referencing the wisdom and the stories that you might have been told for a period of time. I think you had a really close bond with your father, whoever was your father at that point. Strong influence. Perhaps the reason you were so tomboyish. The Eight of Swords comes in and it's like a game? Is that right? It's a game. I thought this was a person, and often when you see something like this, you're going to think a person. It's a game. It's a game. Here's the Six of Wands victory card, and here's the game. It's something that was used to sharpen your senses. You would be either blindfolded or something where you were assigned to find something, to seek something out. It's like, it's a hide and seek, but there's no people. It's you seeking out things. It's a game of how you learn things. I think it's something how your dad may have taught you, or you may have played, and he's like, okay, find this. In modern times, it would be considered a very brutal game. You wouldn't go in the woods, blindfold your kid, and say, okay, find the next set of daisies that you find. But it's almost like that. And you played it over and over and over and over and over. You loved it. I think that's what got you familiar with plants. I think it's what got you familiar with a lot of things in life. Okay. All right. I'm not sure what to tell you on that, what bit of information that's about, but it's hide and seek, and it's really like treasure hunting, finding something. It's weird, but okay, what it is what it is. All right. The Six of Cups, back to here. This is the transplant. Okay. The transplant. Transplant is interesting. Transplant is the interloper. This is somebody that somehow lost their way. This is you're connecting with him. He takes you by surprise. He comes into the zone by surprise. This is him. That's the transplant. This is the game. This is the transplant coming forward. This is somebody from, I don't know if you consider a different tribe, a different group, a different social somewhere. This one is a little bit of not quite a lost boy because he's older than that. But this one is a lost one that comes in. He's significant to you. He's definitely a close friend. You've got Seven of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. He's not like brother, and he's not like lover either. You've got your boundaries with him. The Eight of Pentacles is the work that happens. And the Magician. It's almost like a respecting of the skills that he would have too. Like you would be classmates more, is the term we would use. But this is a transplant. It's like your group, your family, your tribe, whatever, you guys took him in. It wasn't any big problem. You wouldn't have let him out there to die or whatever, but he was kind of out in the cold for some reason. You took him in, and he learned about the skills that you guys had, and particularly similar to yours, to your own. Anything else? Yeah. Okay. The transplant, he gets wise like you get wise, but when the old leader of your group is fading, you take over. He doesn't. Traditionally, a male would have taken over. He doesn't. He goes silent, he goes quiet. And I think he leaves at that point. I think he goes on his own path that way. I think you wonder what happened to him. I don't know if you ever get resolution on that. That's kind of not fun, but I don't think you do. Let's see. It's always just an imagination. Maybe when you guys were little and you're learning, and your classmates and your students, maybe this is the fish that got away. You wonder what might have been if you connected with this person. It's feeling like that. It feels like the fish that got away. I don't know if he feels that way either, but we're reading on you, so this is somebody you'd meet up that would have similar skills as you, that would be on a parallel track in a different lifetime, like as going forward. And you're both going alone for a while, seeking the higher lesson. Two different directions, though. Of course. Of course. Okay, you set up celebrations. You do like a variation of the widow's walk for this person. I think he is in your heart, and I think that there feels like missed opportunity. The widow's walk is where the widows would come and they'd walk on their porches that are up on the tops of their house. There'd be this rooftop walkway, basically. Think of a fenced-in porch, but on the top of a house. And they would look out to see for the ships to come in, and they're waiting for their husband to come back. But they don't want to find out that, you know, he's been crashed at sea or whatever. But the widow's walk is these women that would walk waiting for their husbands, and often the husband wouldn't come back. They'd end up being widows. You're setting up your own little signal. You do something like this where you set up something for this person over and over to give him the signal. Now this is typically the Four of Wands, the 1111. This is some sort of soulmate, some sort of you're trying to call them back in. And it's like you would have, I don't know, I think there's a book called The Secret Language of Flowers. I've heard of it. I don't know that language. I don't speak that language. But it's something you would know and something he would know, where you would set up a certain plant to be the signal or a certain flower patch to be the signal. You would send him messages through there. Like you could set up something that is like the bleeding heart plant, where you see the heart and the bleeding hearts. Or you could set up some kind of cactus if you want, whatever it is. That's your bat signal to him, and you'll do it lifetime after lifetime until he comes. The Seven of Pentacles shows the planting, shows the framework, shows you doing this repeatedly. And it's not been returned just yet. We have every king on the deck here, and he doesn't know he's a king yet. You keep sending out the signal. This guy has to grow up, and for whatever reason, you're down the track, and it's like he's like taking the longest way. The Knight of Pentacles. This is, he's prepared and ready. There's reward in it, and the Page of Wands can see it. You'll keep sending out the signal. Maybe this was just the promise you made. If they were trying to put him in the leadership role, and you knew that that leadership role was more to be yours, and he did too, and he left, that's when the promise would have been made. That's when the soul contract would pivot in its direction. All right. I want to see a little bit through his lens, okay? Because for whatever reason, he's a big character. And I don't think you married him in this particular lifetime. And I think you encounter him over and over. All right. We got the Queen of Wands, super, super visible, ready to go, ready to go, ready to go. We've got the Knight of Wands here. Ready to go, ready to go, ready to go.
I feel like I married him in this one.
You may have. We've got the King sitting on his throne here. Excuse me, the Emperor sitting on his throne. This is Emperor status, and this is King of Wands. This King of Wands. This Knight of Wands. This King. This is what he's been grappling between. He'll go back and forth between King and Knight. Sometimes he'll be directionless. Sometimes he'll really want things to go and it'll be my way or the highway. And then other times he's chicken with the head cut off about other things. Emperor energy. He's trying to crack the code from Knight to King, but it's almost like you think it's like, okay, time for Emperor. Queen of Wands here. She's holding things down. She's holding the fort steady on that. Anything else on him pertaining to this time span? You have the Devil and the Nine of Coins. I just got a flash. It's very sidetracked and it's rude, but it feels like sidetracked by the whore. I don't know what that is. That is a whole kettle of fish. Something here. This is what happened. The devil was the woman with the money. He was sidetracked. He did not return. You know how we have gold diggers and boy toys? It seems like he somehow fell into a trap of boy toy. And he didn't have to grow up. And he had lots of luxury that he wanted to have. Somewhere along the way, he got trapped in something. He did not return in that time. You have the Emperor energy here where you're waiting, waiting, waiting. The Emperor that he's trying to grow into here. And then you have the Nine of Cups. The happy ever after. You're holding a space. You're waiting in space for him to show up. Not just be present, but to show up. As the Empress, you waited and waited and waited and waited. You ruled well. You did well. You took the lead in that space for a bit of time. You did well. You did your work. You knew what you were doing. There was still anxiety and stress and this sense of longing and wondering. It just was a sense of something that felt unresolved to you. Conflict, competition, sparring, like also an education of people who were also women in your group in a way that wasn't normal. Like, here's these women here, and they're getting educated for battle. You wouldn't just educate them in medicine. You would educate them in how to protect themselves. Ace of Wands, new inspired information, passions, and growth in the work. And there was a certain group of these. Ooh, you put a little bit of a taint and a tint on the group in the fact that it was a little bit colored with not even bitterness, but just sorrow at what didn't come into being. They tune in intuitively, you tune in intuitively. You taught people how to do this. The Star is the place for hope, healing, and pause. This is the card of grief and loss. The contract, you ended here. You had developed the strength, but it's like the contract ended here. The Star is here. You had hopes and dreams and desires for this to happen, and it didn't play out here, and that was okay. There was a knowing of the true north. There was a knowing of the writing in the sky. The writing in the sky. Look at this. There was a knowing of this. There was some kind of recognition of your own soul contract and that down the track you would meet with your person. And the other women, I don't know how they connect with you in this life. The big story has been told. The big story on this lifetime you needed to know. You led, you knew happy family times, you knew earth and medicine, you became more and more skilled through play in learning plant and medicine. It's like kind of healer sage medicine woman flavor, but also rolled up with the ruling energy. And it didn't last forever. It might have been a few years, like maybe less than a decade, where this was a really important thing. This group, because you taught them how to defend and taught them how to fight, it did create more peace. They would know how to fight off somebody making inappropriate advances or to deflect. They would know their spidey senses would be in tune. They would adapt accordingly because of the intuition and the things that you showed them. It would have gone sour if the interloper, if the guy took the ruling spot versus you, it would have gone completely sour. It was slated somehow that you needed to be the one in charge at that point. That's what I've got. And it just ends with the Nine of Cups, which is the wish fulfilled, and the star here. So if you knew it'd be granted.
I have a long line of medicine women in my family.
Oh. Well, okay. Maybe that's why it was written in the stars. Maybe this is to do with the Pleiadian energy. Yeah. That's what I've got. That's where the story is, and that's where it ends on this particular one. So that's pretty dang interesting and fabulous. I think that this has to be working itself out. If you feel strongly that your person that you're with in this lifetime is the person that was the fish that got away, if that's what you feel, you're going to know this better than I. You'll know these details and how it resonates better than I will.
Native Mexican indigenous women.
Oh! Okay, well then, hey. It is very funny when I do these, like, history comes out, strange, quirky stuff I don't know about comes out, and things that are in one lifetime, if they're unfinished, it's not like it's the end of the world. So don't fear ever that if you don't get something done or handled in this life that you don't get another chance. Why would you be denied a chance to do anything? Like if you had your kids and your kids were trying to learn to walk and they didn't get it the first time or the second time or the 15th time, would you say, well, done, I'm just going to carry you on my back for the rest of your life if you're not able to walk? No, of course not. Of course, they would learn the lesson. You would give them the time they needed to learn the lesson. And if it takes more time to line up other contracts and other sacred contracts, divine timing, then that's what it takes. And that's something you understood easily. In this time, it was like, well, of course. It was like, no brainer. Okay, that's what I've got for you. That was very, very different. Very different. And the blindfold game coming through on this. The blindfold game. Do it again, do it again. When you need to know something, you go into a space, close your eyes, get silent, get everything blocked out. Go into a space, get silent, get really, really well-seated, well-grounded. And then when you've got the centered feeling, then look for what it is that you want to find. I'm not talking car keys. I'm talking significant shit. That's what I got.
And she put, yes, divine timing.
Yeah. Yeah, no joke, man. Man.